right from Inside Edge, which was our very first show, to more recently, Former Shots Please and Made in Heaven and Mirzapur and all these shows, we've really committed to the cinematic ambition, finite fiction, heavily serialized, with the potential of multiple seasons. And what we've learned here is that it's a craft that takes time, so you can't rush it. You can't expect to be doing it just because there's this innate demand from customers and try and cut a few corners. We recognize that. It only stays cinematic if you're able to give it the time it takes to be able to bring it in its full glory. And so I think we're going to stay committed to doing all of this stuff. And as long as we have the vote of confidence from our customers, and we believe that we're giving them good enough value, and believe me, our customers are very vocal. Yes. They tell us what they like and what they don't like, and it all happens in real time. And I think that's really what drives us. And I believe the opportunity, as I said, is just about getting started. I would like to believe this is true for everyone.
You mentioned earlier also many countries, many India, one India. Are the sensibilities of Bharat and India from a consumer point of view OTT are very different? I mean, you plan content, create content kind of differently from the two?
They're even more nuanced. I think Bharat and India is kind of simplifying it.
Okay.
All right? It's way more nuanced. I think the magic here is that if you tell a great story, we've noticed that the more authentic you are to the roots of the story, the more it travels.
Right.
I mean, Mirzapur has fans from Coimbatore and Trichy. And one would argue when you're sitting developing the show that, hey, this is not even going to be understood by people who speak regular Hindi, right? So I think that's the magic. But you have to keep in mind that even when you're creating content, say in Tamil, what will work in Madurai will be deeply nuanced versus what is cosmopolitan Chennai. And I think that's just the name of the game now. And the beauty is that creators have the opportunity to actually do this without any of the economic constraints around it.
Right. But one is, of course, same content of multiple languages, and of course, to this point, the story could be from any part of the country. If it is done well, it can resonate across the world, as we've seen in many content cases. You, of course, have a lot of original content going in Tamil, especially now, and perhaps in Bangla later. When you kind of think of Tamil as an audience, or Telugu as an audience, or versus North India as an audience, what are the kind of filters you apply which are any different?
Great storytelling and narratives, but of course, one can't take away the credit from that. But how true the story is to its roots. Is it a story that is meant to be told in Tamil? Will it largely cater to my Tamil-speaking audience? And in fact, it's not anymore just language or a city or a particular demographic anymore. It's a segment of one almost for all of us. So if it's a great Tamil show, we not just see those in Chennai or other parts of Tamil Nadu or Sri Lanka or Singapore consume it. We have a lot more audiences even nationally which want to sample this show. We recently launched a show called Auto Shankar. It has had such phenomenal response from across the country. So it's not remained only a Tamil show anymore.
I just want to add a point here because I know while we're talking about all the content we're creating, it's important to understand, also recognize that there is a shift when it comes to authenticity. If you look at the success of a recent Kannada film called KGF and the success it had in Hindi, right? Everyone earlier used a label of Bahubali, which was really fantasy, and so it was agnostic to regions. It was set in a period that everyone could relate to. KGF is set in the 70s and the 80s, and it traveled and it did upward north of 50-60 crores as a dub film. I think it was the first dub film in Kannada.
On that point, has the consumer changed and evolved in the last 30 years, or only the access has changed? Is there access the same way?
Yeah, I can answer that. I think the consumers evolve, right? I think there's different sets of consumers watching television and there's different sets of consumers watching this, because the new set of consumers have been exposed to a lot of the shows originally that started off in the US with the likes of Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video themselves, and a lot of the kind of top 5 to 6 cities got access and the penetration started with the classic kind of early adopters. Right? And I think that started off as a culture, and then that culture kind of translated to what India has to present in terms of original programming. So, picking into what my colleagues have said, I think it's important to be true to your story because that's where the audiences start drawing in. I think we spend a lot of time on languages, but I think with like globalization, you can buy the same piece of clothing anywhere around the world. Essentially, content travels better, or even like music and content travel better than potentially like commerce.
We hold this debate in English, and mostly what speaks English is the first language. When you see consumption of entertainment and we see television, we see OTT, perhaps less than 5% is in English. What really is the future of English content produced in India on these services?
I'll try and answer that question in two parts. I'll just take the conversation forward here. I think all content is really catering to a need state. Right? To us, if it's a voyeuristic need state or excitement, escape, there is something that the consumer is actually wanting to watch to satisfy a need state. That would come from any story or any language. We'll watch Narcos in Spanish and read the subtitle and we really happy. KGF is a great example. That story is travel. If the consumer is wanting to watch that story, he's in the mood to watch crime, in the mood to watch something, he will find the content that he's looking for.
But it's not growing.
But in English, the only point is that if it is only in English, right, that to me at a scale operation, you negate a huge amount of audience for sure. Because if it just becomes English, then you have negated a huge audience as such. But if you're available like in multiple languages, even with that English option, probably the story will go a lot further. So the availability of the story in multiple languages is important. Which language then becomes largely a strategic market sizing kind of discussion.
Are you planning an only English product?
For us, at that scale, it's really tough. I don't think we'll ever do it.
No, but I think there's a different way to look at this, right? English was restricted in terms of distribution because cable operators and channels controlled in terms of what frequency it ran on based on the carriage, right? So you can't say English didn't travel beyond a certain point. But at scale, if you look at quality stories that are relevant and that make sense, people can associate with, it's definitely, one thing I can tell you for sure, that English will be a larger percentage share of the overall consumption than the percentage share it saw on television. That's pretty certain, because if there's quality storytelling, people will watch it. It doesn't matter the
But the
language.
English of OTT is also kind of, again, taking example of Made in Heaven, is a kind of different kind of English, right? It's a
So
lot
I'm talking, when I refer to English programming, I'm talking about LA-based, studio-based shows that are made in the US. This is what Made in Heaven is, or what we do with Smoke, shows like that, is basically what we call as a spoken language. If a spoken language is a mix of English and Hindi, then that spoken language that's more locally curated and created. These are what we call as classic imports rather, which are shows made for a certain audience, but if it's a good story, what we can guarantee is English will travel better than it did in television. What that percentage is going to be a lunatic guess.
Right.
Rajiv,
Yes, please.
we have in fact a very interesting learning from this. Karanjit Kaur, which is the biopic of Sunny Leone, which is on Z5 platform.
And doing very well.
And of course doing very well. Its original version was in English because of course we had to remain true to the story, and because she was born in Canada and raised there, obviously she would speak English. It would be unfair to make her speak in Hindi and Telugu. So the original show is some bit of Hindi, a lot of English and Punjabi. That was the language she spoke with her family. And all initial research before we launched the show said that isme bahut English hai. There's a lot of English in this. A lot of our accent couldn't be followed. And of course we aided it with subtitles, and then the feedback was, ye bahut jaldi jata hai. It's too fast to read subtitles. So now on the Z5 platform, you have a Karanjit Kaur, which is in English, a pure Hindi version of it, which is very desi, which is, if there were a commercial film on Sunny Leone's life, that's what it would be. A Tamil version, a Bangla version, a Marathi version, Telugu version, and a Malayalam version. And let me tell you that the Hindi, Tamil, and the Malayalam version are the most shocking of it all.
Jubin, when I speak to my friends in television and content creators, and they want to enter a new market, they want to understand the culture, the base level consumer, and what inspires them to watch content television. When I speak to the web service agents, they're trying to kind of push the boundary, they want to experiment a little, they want to take the society to the next level. How do you balance the two? I mean, are you going to change the society? Are you going to emanate from the society? I mean, how do you going to do a casting a new market altogether?
So, as I said, there is already some learnings of a particular segment in a particular consumption form. For example, we've seen a lot of traction of all our content on a DTH platform, which is a DTH value-added services. Over and above your normal Tata Sky pack, you can buy another service. And we power a lot of those services for the last 2.5 years. We've seen some tremendous traction for paid content happening out there. So that's one learning, and we take all those learnings to decide, okay, this is the kind of traction, this is the kind of content, these are the kind of films, these are the kind of shows that will actually work in that kind of a market or in that, for that kind of a segment. We have some sort of a run-up to learning on that front. It may be
but a popular narrative I hear in Delhi market elsewhere, I watch OTT because this content was never available to us elsewhere. In a sense, because it's not available on television is the reason some of the content actually has been loved and appreciated by audiences. So how do you balance the two of learning of the past, which is perhaps doing the same or more of the same, versus doing new?
So we see it as two parts of the same coin, or two sides of the same coin. There is, of course, the new and the fresh content that's available and that is supposed to be created. Frankly, we look at it from a profitability point of view. It's still a while away and it probably will be a burn game for the next 5 years. We also see on the other side of that same coin, we see that there's a huge amount of traction for existing content being replayed on another device and consumed. And there's a huge traction, smaller segments, but a lot of traction for people to pay for the same service on OTT. And I'm seeing that already happening in the last quarter of our launch.
Right. Which on your right, of course, is a lady who has power of 50,000 content pipeline coming every year. So my question to you is, and I'm sure you can also kind of open those pipes if you wish to, how much content, original content, is actually enough? I mean, we have a major player who doesn't do more than 800 hours of original content a year, does fantastic around the world.
That's a really interesting question. There's really no magic number. And what we believe is impactful content. So all along, through our evolution to where we are and where we're going, our goal is to be able to bring to our customers consistently content that reflects their tastes and preferences in the most impactful manner. So when it comes to movies, we go after the latest and greatest and we try and bring it at the earliest window possible. So that's something that we do. When it comes to original series, we do not wish to compromise on the cinematic vision whatsoever, and we recognize it takes time. And so we're willing to curate the content and give it as much time as it takes to get to some kind of a reasonable cadence, which is, if you look at the paths, we had 1 show in 2017, we had 5 last year, this year we will exit with 10 and hopefully 12 and thereafter. So it takes time. But frankly, I don't believe that we're at a stage where the customers are thumping on our doors and saying, I need X number of hours or Y number of hours. What they're really asking for is, tell us great stories. We do have a very strong ambition to be able to tell fresh narratives to existing themes. We do believe customers today are in an evolutionary society, and so certain entertainment mediums provide them with what was or what is. We are about what can be or what truly is. And so there are all of those creative decisions to be taken. So insofar as we are concerned, I'm very happy that there are multiple services that have different pipelines that have broadcast input and so on and so forth. We believe that ultimately the customer is the one who's going to make the choice, and she's pretty smart.
I mean, you've done tremendous work in consumer research. You have all listening tools, all techniques available. When a consumer moves from platform A to B, generally, without naming anyone, what is the one broad reason he starts new subscription?
Well, I can't speak for movement, but I can definitely share with you why she would start watching Prime Video. Couple of reasons. First one is the overall experience itself, and I'm going to bundle that with content, the UX, the convenience, the multi-device, the proprietary software that allows you to set your own data quality and then put your restrictions.
But when you have churn, the question is, when you have churn, when you have people leaving Prime Video to another platform, what triggers that?
We haven't seen much of it, so frankly, I guess it's also to do with the fact that the Prime Benefits program is a pretty solid one. I mean, if you think about it, at $9.99, there's shipping, shopping, music, Prime Video, now Prime Reading. So there's a whole bunch of benefits. So I think it's also about long-term value. That's the point that I keep going back to, that it's really going to be about the user experience and value. And this, if staying committed to that, will make sure that you're the preferred choice, and that's what we're after.
Gautam, you must be betting on churn, right? You must be betting on churn of the existing players for your services to kind of grow. What would I know you have an A-board model, which is, at a model level it's a very different kind of track for kind of consumer. But what would be you offered which is different, barring different content and kind of differentiated content?
I have only one proposition, I'm free. Nothing beats that in this country, I believe, genuinely. So in terms of churn, really, I think consumers really chase shows, right? There is a very serious brand value that most of us are trying to build. Over a period of time, we will build the stickiness with the brand, for sure. But I genuinely believe that consumers genuinely go after shows. If they want the show and they want to watch it, they will go and find it out. If you have to pay for it, they will. If they don't have to, they won't. But it's just that show must be exciting. So I think people chase shows a lot, and the stickiness therefore is created by the brand and the experience and all. So churn is not something that I genuinely bother about, because I don't have it.
I believe we are at a stage where the industry is, or the customers are all about being content loyal and not platform loyal. So whenever you find some new show happening, you'll end up all hoarding out there, taking the subscription, finishing it off, and then coming back to another platform for the next show or next content piece. And again, coming back to the same story and the same logic, if you find someone who's a classic lover, he will come to the same platform that he finds a whole lot of classics. He won't want to go to multiple platforms to get that kind of content. So,
I think Gautam mentioned about consumer chasing shows, not necessarily platforms. And there is also a big debate about the scale of the show. We know the kind of the scale of the show is only increasing every kind of quarter. How do you look at the scale of the show per se when it comes to kind of attracting new consumers?
So for our shows, we go right at the top of the funnel. So I don't think we compromise, because as Gautam's got the slight bit of luxury of being free to the customer, we don't have the luxury of being free to the customer. So we're slightly dependent on the subscription rather than the advertiser kind of budgets rolling into us. So I think we in fact go higher. So we go higher on the premiumness of the show in terms of the caliber of how the consumer experiences. A lot of this actually in this context has not been talked about, but technology plays a massive role in our business, right? Which didn't really exist in the case of films, some in the case of television, but we're not talking about data, we haven't talked about all the new formats of technology entering the concept of video. So the kind of experiences we will be able to create, some things we're already working on, will be for the first time viewers will be looking at it because they haven't engaged with it at that level. So whether it's technology experiences or content experiences, we actually are not wary of the budget, we go right at the top of the funnel.
Vijay, you both mentioned about content, people chasing content. I have a feeling you may not agree with that. You may have people chasing platform as much as staying on platform or loyal to platform is part of your strategy.
Well, the goal is to earn loyalty, obviously, so I can't speak to that. What is important is that, sure, people chase content, but I disagree that people should chase only shows. And it's really important to recognize that, no two people's content preferences are the same. And it's also equally important to recognize that an individual customer's moods change across the day. So it's really important to be able to provide a compelling variety. So sure, they come in for the content, and it's important for us to keep them really engaged by giving them a compelling variety of content, but I don't think it's just shows that they go after. There are so many inputs to that. The amount of time you have, what kind of a mood you're in, what kind of a day you had. There's just a lot of that. And then we've seen, even among the shows, a show made for really young people, Promax Launch, being enjoyed by 45, 50-year-olds because, everybody loves to have a laugh. And so it's really important to be able to provide a wide variety of compelling pieces of content across formats, because that's what drives engagement, and it's really day one for us. So we're not going to be taking our foot off the gas anytime soon.
About the prime time television is well understood. what's really the prime time for OTT? Is it different for every app? I understand you're on demand, which is great service, perhaps a differentiator. But is there a prime time, peak day?
Well, the 24 by 7 logic doesn't go away, but the fact remains that we do see peak in the evenings. So 7 p.m. onwards, you will see a clear peak.
So people are still working at work office, right? They're not working at home.
People are possibly, yeah. Some of them are driving. The lucky ones are driving home at 7 o'clock. Mornings 10 to 12, we tend to see good peaks. Weekends are definitely the best. So whether it's weekends, whether it's long holidays, we love Friday holidays and Monday holidays, all of us. And while TV would have really worried about long holidays and that the numbers would drop, OTT and all of us, I'm sure, see great consumption, great binge viewing during
That is generally dips after 11. You peak after 11?
Yeah, we peak after 11 because most of our consumers would start watching something at 9:30 and then would continue watching until the wee hours.
So what do you think is the reason? Television could not serve these audiences, or you're serving something different? Because television assumed the audience is gone, media plans felt audience are not there, the ad dollars are not there.
Television would be episodic in nature, right? So you would have to do a Monday to Friday to finish watching your show, and then after 11 p.m. would be the so-called matured time bank. So,
but they were still put the best movies. I mean, channels are already for hours. You see English movie channel, Hindi movie channel, they put the best.
I guess it's more of a convenience factor that you like something and you just want to finish it. Most of us are creating such compelling content that after the first episode you want to binge view and see what happens next.
But is it like a me time?
So I think the answer to your question is that catered to a different demographic, right? That catered to essentially the mass market is male, female, above 35. You're actually catering to a different kind of demographic, or rather psychographic of audience. It's not even a demographic of audience. Hence, their behavior patterns, their daily patterns, their need gaps are completely different. You're trying to kind of start with a certain core and then create that core to become a larger subset of a larger audience.
6%, 11 o'clock, the person doesn't change up really.
Not necessarily. So what we experienced, because I was in Viacom also, we were part of the launch team of Colors, right? So what we experienced at that point was the fact is that there were people that were watching shows like even Roadies during the same time in terms of catch up on YouTube during prime time ban. So it's actually because India is a single TV household phenomenon per se, a lot of the younger audiences are actually watching it on their digital platforms in the same time ban, sitting in the same family room. So what you're getting is similar patterns to television in terms of viewership peaks, but the programming is catered to different psychographic, and I think that's the core differential.
Fair enough. For the early days, but I want to ask you something. I mean, what's really surprised you about your job? I mean, in the sense of response, success, failure, besides bosses?
No, I think it's just generally the scale of who we're trying to target. It's a mammoth task to try and understand this, mass India, and understand, like they said, that there are many Indias, to understand what is it that they want to watch, why is it that they want to watch, draw up some hypothesis, try and make some programming. Unfortunately for all of us, it takes, by the time you understand this audience and by the time you actually create the program, it's a year down the line. And data is changing literally every day. So, it's kind of the most interesting part is how do you actually understand this amount of data that's actually being captured. And then from a content perspective, because if you want to deliver quality content, it cannot be delivered quickly, let's be honest. Right? Anything that is slightly premium has to have that